and I think we need bipartisan solutions. Thank you so very much.
Thanks, Senator. I look forward to you and Senator Moreno working together on solving these issues. Senator McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Warren, and thank you to a great panel. In addition to being an integral part of the American Dream, home ownership obviously carries great financial benefit, as the home for many families is the most important asset. When I'm back in Pennsylvania, I consistently hear about this problem, the difficulty of affording a home. Across Pennsylvania, housing prices are up 11% over the last year, and major metro areas, in particular Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, rank near the bottom nationally of new home construction. So the American dream that we all want for everyone is slipping away because of this mismatch between supply and demand. So Mayor Johnson, good to see you. I know you're from my wife's hometown and a good friend of hers, and work closely with her. Could you give us a perspective as a big city mayor on the challenges you particularly have faced with housing construction and stories you may have heard from other mayors?
Well, Senator, I appreciate the question. I think, so Dallas, the city of Dallas proper, which I'm the mayor of, is surrounded by several vibrant, what used to be bedroom communities, but are now relatively large, successful suburbs in their own right. And the metro area that we form together, we call the Metroplex or the DFW region, is soon to be the third largest metro area in the United States, and it's the fastest growing in the United States. It's 8 million people, and it's a very dynamic region with a lot of job growth, a lot of economic opportunity. I describe us as the buckle of the Sun Belt, and the Sun Belt is the fastest growing part of the United States population-wise and economically. And so there's no shortage of folks who want to do business in our neck of the woods, home building included, but they have choices to make in where they do that building. And one of my challenges as the mayor of Dallas is to make Dallas a more competitive place for them to do that vis-a-vis our surrounding communities. One of the most common things I hear from folks who are in that line of work about why not Dallas and why someplace else is the permitting process. Yep. And how cumbersome it can be to navigate that process. And so that is why I've been so focused on that while I've been mayor. But your question, I think, highlights something that I really want to emphasize for this committee, and I alluded to it before about how this has to come to Congress in my mind, and it has to be on y'all's minds if we're going to address it for your constituents, whoever those may be, is that this is a national competition for the same people, and the problem just moves around the country.
Yeah.
It just moves around. We benefit from being more affordable, so to speak, than California, but Oklahoma City benefits from being more affordable than Dallas, and just kind of keep pushing it around. We have to deal with it, I think, in a national manner, and for sure, I think the solution and the answer is to increase the amount of homes that are being built, and a big barrier to it is how long it takes to get the projects done.
That's what we're hearing across the board. I'm going to move to Ms. Willis for a second. I want to talk about veterans, homelessness. I know, Mayor, you've had success in Dallas with that. I wondered if you could just comment on the collaboration you've seen between the VA and HUD on this, and what the national trends you're seeing on veterans homelessness.
Sure. Thank you for the question. I would say that, homelessness, there's documented studies in terms of with Housing First, with making sure that homeless veterans are housed. And so there's a study that at least the success rate is over 50%. And so there's...
is it getting better?
Yeah, it's certainly getting better, because as you probably know, that there are on any given night over 770,000 people who are living on the streets every night. But in terms of veterans homelessness, the trend is that it's being solved and getting better. But we certainly do want to see more.
Good, thank you. And Dr. Glazer, I want to get your big brain into this for a second, which is just if you look current course for this committee to think about without a change in the overall posture of policymakers, what would you think housing prices are going to do in the next 5 years?
So I'm going to dodge that one, Senator. Just to be honest, because corrections are always possible, and I don't want to be on the record for the next 5. Let me say, if we do nothing,
you should learn to hedge. I mean, we all know how to do that. Come on,
give me a longer time horizon, Senator, and I see no reason why we're going to correct course in any way. Right, so give me 10 years, give me 15 years so we can get past whatever housing cycle might emerge in the next 5 years. It feels to me like it is in America in which more and more of this country is closed off to opportunity, is closed off to people finding a future. When I was a kid, I read this book called The Rise and Decline of Nations by Manker Olson. And it was a book about how stable societies get captured by insiders and make it impossible for outsiders to find a fortune. When I read this coming off of Reagan's America, that didn't feel like my America then. It feels more and more like America now. And that's why I think it is so important for your committee to make sure that an America of opportunity continues everywhere.
We'll end on Manker Olson. Thank you.